Care less. I care about getting this started. Let's go.
All right, Bill, we secured the number 3 seed, which isn't as important as the number 2 seed. Opening thoughts on tonight's win over Dallas.
Well, I keep saying to the players, nothing is easy. This league is too good. There are too many good teams, too many good players. We didn't have the energy in the first half, for most of the first half. It happens to us sometimes. But in the second half, Plum gave us all the energy in the world that we needed. Hamby a little bit, but Plum was the driving force there. It really pushed the ball, got us some easy buckets, made some big shots. But, you know, we'll take it. I mean, give Dallas credit. They didn't lose. They came in here just raising for 3 balls in the first half, not a care in the world. And when you play like that, there's a lot of circus shots went in. When you play like that, good things happen for you. Is that it's sustainable for the whole game? Not very often. We turned our defense up, had more energy, ran the ball a little bit better, and put more pressure on them. And their shots didn't go in. We gave away too many offensive rebounds. That's one of the detriments of tonight's game. But overall, I thought, you know, we got some good contributions. You know, some people, you know, grew into it as the game went along. Chelsea Gray made some big shots down the stretch to put the game away. But every night it's going to be somebody different. The other night it was Jackie Young. Tonight it's Kelsey Plum. I don't know who's going to happen to the next game. We'll have to wait and see.
Bill, how would you characterize, I mean, Plum's done this a few times this year, just going nuclear in the second half. How would you characterize the growth that you've seen in her during your time with franchise coaching her?
Well, you know, this has been coming for her. You know, she's a quality player. There's no question about it. One pick in the draft. Her game has grown every year to the point where, you know, she has more confidence to know what she can get accomplished on the floor every time she walks out there. Her role this year is to come off the bench and bring us all the energy in the world like she did tonight, to provide that scoring off the bench, especially when we have Liz. Liz is exiting the game and the bench is coming in the late first quarter. She gets a chance to do her thing. With Liz and the age out there is more difficult for Kelsey. When the floor is opened up like it was tonight, she's able to penetrate and operate and make things happen. But this is, you know, she's going to be the 6th person. There's something wrong. You know, dropping 30 off the bench, winning a big important game for us. So yeah, she's, you know, she said no, she wants to be a starter. Everybody does, but for us, in the way we're structured, she's a perfect bench player for us.
How long do you feel like it took for her to really get comfortable in this role? Was there a point this season where
probably about 10 seconds after I told her? You know, she knows the game of basketball. She knows why I did it. You know, people don't have to agree with all the decisions that a coach makes, but at the same time, they have to respect it and go out and do their job, which she has all year long. So you can't say enough good things about her. I know that she would like to be a starter, but so does a lot of other good players in the history of the game that have been very successful, six player off the bench and won championships. And its history, it has a ton of them because they do bring that energy. Hopefully she's one of those for us.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, more than a few times this year, you guys have gotten off to a slow start and have to use a big coming behind second half to pull out win. I guess just going forward, getting ready for the playoffs, does that worry you that this keeps happening?
Everything worries a coach. You know, we've had some quick starts too. But, you know, the way we're structured in the starting lineup, we're not the super energy team. We're an exacting team and make some shots and try to go to our strengths. When Liz is there, we try to go to her, try to get Asia involved early on in the game. But we're not a high-powered pace team. That's where a bench comes in. The complexion of the game changes a lot. So, you know, the job of the starters is to maintain and to wear the other starters down. Just to hold the lead, be even or whatever. And then here comes the bench, and our bench is very talented, and they push the lead and they push the score higher. Starters have to start doing a little bit better job of being even or ahead when I start bringing my bench. And that way we can really play to our strengths.
And then in that first quarter, Dallas got off to hot start, obviously scored 29 points. But then the rest of the game, they're pretty much out in check, under 20 points the rest of the 3 quarters. What changed defensively for you guys?
When we made a couple of defensive adjustments, but, you know, the circus shots that they made, you know, some quality 3-ball looks, we took those away. Then they started making the ball bounced around about 3 times, it bounces the basket, you know, okay. But then we just started keeping the pressure on them defensively, and they didn't make the shots. You know, that's how basketball works. The harder you play defense, the less the other team is successful. So I think we credit our defense and made some adjustments, but it's more effort than anything else.
Thank you.
Trania?
Hey, Coach, good game today. I heard you a lot up here in the press box. You were very vocal today with your players, with the officiating and everything. It makes me wonder what you said to your team at halftime to make them come out second half the way they did.
Not a lot. I just told them what they're doing wrong. They weren't playing hard enough. And it was important that, they seize the moment. This is a playoff game. It's not just a regular season game. This is a playoff game. The second seed, we're going for the second seed, which is very important. Getting the third seed, okay, it's behind us. But now our task is we have 2 games on the road. We got to win 1. So, but we have to play with the energy we had in the second half from start to finish, and we'll be fine. That's pretty much in a nutshell what I told them.
Sandra?
It was a historic day for the Aces and Mark Davis in Las Vegas. I spoke with him earlier. He said it was Games Day, and he was counting on the Aces to win the first half of the doubleheader for his teams here in Las Vegas. How do you feel about being part of the day and the team? But I'll talk about the energy in Las Vegas today.
Yeah, well, if the schedule falls where the schedule falls, we were going to play opposite them in the game, and that would have caused a traffic nightmare, as we all know. And some of our fans wouldn't have been there. So it was a good move. Very, very, very few franchises would move a game from an evening game to a noon on Monday, unless it's a camp game. They just won't do that. We did it, and we're successful at having fans in the stands, which is a big testament to, our fan base in Las Vegas. I know that tonight's the first real game at the new stadium, and we did our part for Mark. Won game 1. Now it's up to his other team to do part 2. I have no control of that one.
Thanks a lot, Coach. We'll let you go. And we'll be back with Kelsey Plum and Asia Wilson.
Why are you going to speak to Plum?
Couple of quick notes. The attendance today is 48-45. Kelsey Plum with 30 points. That's 2 off of her career high, which she set earlier this year against New York.
I set an attendance record for Postgame.
Exactly. And I hope you noticed we got somebody else in town what the math works out. It's at least 40%. And then lastly, we did have clinched the 3 spot. We already had a top 4 spot clinched, and so the 3 doesn't really impact anything. It's the 2 you want, because that gets you the double bye. Our magic number 1, if we win one of these last 2, we will get that double bye.